Hello and welcome to another podcast with your host Miriam Khan at Raise Your Vibes. Today I'm with a lovely gentleman who's come all the way from Uganda to Kuwait, and we have got Hamza. Hamza, please introduce your full name and just give us a little bit of summary about who you are, why you're here in Kuwait.
Thank you very much, Sister Mariam. I'm called Hamza Twaha Bwambale. I'm a Ugandan who comes from western side of Uganda, particularly in the district called Kasese. And actually where I come from, we neighbor the Democratic Republic of Congo. So I'm here in Kuwait for a visit. And actually, the visit is meant to visit my brother, Sheikh Hamza Twaha, who works at TIES, and at the same time, trying to connect with friends, discuss with them about our small organization, just a CBO, that we started in our home district.
Okay, so your organisation, I believe, is called Nadir Foundation. Have I pronounced that correctly? I hope.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Nadir Foundation.
Nadir. Okay, I'm going to say it in a Yorkshire way, perhaps. So tell us a little bit about that foundation. What is it about? How did it get set up?
Oh, Nadir Foundation, it is a charitable organization that this charitable organization, we thought of it since in our communities we have people who have got very many challenges, a lot of problems in our communities, and in fact there are people who need a lot of help. Many organizations station actually the activities in cities. For us, we thought of initiating this in our home village where people need help the most.
Sometimes, you'll see lots of people telling you about different charities and saying, why is the government not helping? Why is society not helping? Obviously, we're not going to get into big politics about that, but what do you think makes your place so special that it needs that extra help and support?
In a place where I come from, actually, in those small towns, Muslims are the majority in towns. And as you know, in our country, the problem is the government is Christian. The government tries to limit activities of Muslims as much as possible.
Yes.
So when it comes to even many opportunities in the government, mostly the non-Muslims are the beneficiaries, unlike the Muslims.
Yeah.
And with this, we thought of starting this organization purposely to help the Muslims and help the community in our area.
So how long has it been running now officially? How many years has it been up and running?
We started with a school. It was a nursery and primary school, which started in 2009. And when the school started, we had started these activities as well. So when it came to 2015 is when we registered a CBO, a community-based organization called the Nadir Foundation, such that we can have bigger coverage of our activities.
And in places like that, was this the only school in that little area? Was that the only place where you could get access to education? Or were there others at the time?
No, it wasn't the only school because we had some other schools which are actually owned by Christians.
Right.
But on the side of Muslims, this is the leading school in the district, which offers both Islamic and secular education.
Amazing. And obviously those types of things don't just run themselves, as we know. So some in other countries, because obviously this is an international podcast, just to put into perspective, some people's, especially in England, for example, schools are run by the government. The money comes from the government, the pot of money. And then obviously the school decides where that money goes. In America, it's done different. In another place, it's done different. Some places, you pay for the school fees. So everybody that's listening in needs to understand a little bit about your school's foundations.
Oh, in Uganda, the same thing. Government schools, actually, we have two types of schools. We have private and government schools. So those government schools are always being aided by the government. Funds come directly from the government. But however, there are some little contributions from pupils, actually from parents, towards towards the school. But on the side of private schools, actually is privately owned, and mostly the way these private schools are being run, actually they depend from collection from the learners.
Okay.
And when it comes like to ours, we try to mobilize for funds from well-wishers, from friends. So we get some little contribution from individuals towards the organization, because where the school is situated, is in a community whereby many people live lugubrious life, and most of them do not afford even the little we charge as school fees. So by the end of the term, all people do not pay the required school fees.
Yeah.
We end up in losses every time.
But you're at least providing an education, which is what the main purpose of, the school is. Which is not always easy to have education, is it, in the world that we live in today?
Exactly what we offer, we follow the government curriculum.
Yeah.
We try to implement the same curriculum, and at the same time, we implement the curriculum of of Islamic education.
Education.
And when it comes to performance, our private schools perform even better than government schools where we are.
Wow, that's saying something.
No.
That's saying something. So obviously, if it started as a school, then just take us through a little bit more of the history so people can understand like the background. So you started as a school, the secondary school, primary school. Then looking at the information you provided me, it seems to have grown into other things that you've done now. So talk us through how that then established itself.
Okay, now as I said earlier, that we started the school in 2009, whereby we started with only 20 nursery children. So by that time, in fact, the way the school was operating actually depended on our pockets.
Yeah.
Because for 20 children, the collection from those kids could not actually run the school. So it was after 4 years when we started collecting something that could be probably sufficient to run school activities. So from there, from 2009, the population kept growing, the population of our children. From 20, the second year, it was 100, 120, 300,
Wow.
400. Yes,
That's amazing.
Up to where we are right now, we stand at 600
Wow.
pupils.
Well
from
done.
From nursery to primary 7.
Wow. So it's now more stable. You've got more people coming in, and obviously the community knows that, like, you're a reputable school. You're providing good services there.
Exactly. In the year 2023, last year but one, in our district, we were ranked the best school in the district in performance in secular education. Our candidates passed. They passed the exams 100%.
Wow, that's an amazing achievement.
Yes.
Amazing achievement.
Yeah. So, as the little we collect from the school fees and the little we collect from well-wishers, we do something. That's why till now we started with the only one building, a 3-roomed classroom. 3-roomed structure as classrooms. But later on, we kept growing until now we have 11 classrooms, and we have the administration block and so on. From the little we collect, we do something. So the school kept growing time after time.
That's amazing to hear. And obviously, looking at the information you've sent me, you've then set up different programs as well within the organisation. So talk us through that, and let's see how we can our audience can hopefully help you.
Firstly, I was talking about the school, but now when it comes to an organisation, as I said, we registered a CBO, a community-based organisation. So we have a variety of activities. Among the activities that we focus on is Iftar Sa'im during the month of Ramadan. When it comes to Iftar Sa'im, we do visit different villages where we conduct iftar programs, and in these iftar programs, we do have da'wah as well. Iftar and da'wah, they go simultaneously. And the people we invite, we do not invite only Muslims. We invite even the non-Muslims. We give them chance to interact with us. They have iftar with us as they listen to our preachings, and it's amazing that every year we receive new reverts.
Yeah.
to
So
Islam.
for the people that are listening in and perhaps don't know what iftar and dawah is, we're going to just go through that, because sometimes there's words we use that not everybody understands, because obviously we have international faiths across the world. So how do we explain to someone what iftar is? Obviously right now for Muslims, we're approaching the month of Ramadan, which is very, very holy for us. Would you like to explain what iftar means to our audience?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that question. It's really true that when we talk of iftar saim in Arabic, it's in Arabic. Iftar saim, actually, it's purposely, or it's only during the month of Ramadan, when Muslims fast, and the time when they break their fast. The meal organized to break their fast is what we call iftar. So by the time we organize these meals, we have actually organized meals for people who are fasting, and as I've said earlier, we invite even the non-Muslims. They come and dine with us as they listen to the preachings about the month of Ramadan.
And it's a nice, I mean, I've been to several iftars myself, and what I will personally say, it's a really nice community feeling, because like you said, when there's Muslims or non-Muslims together, you're celebrating that holy month with them. You know, it's like a vibe of community, of solidarity, isn't it, between different faiths?
Yes,
so that's
exactly.
nice that you're sharing that. And then how do we explain the word dawah to other people that, again, they will not know what that means? So how can we break that down?
Okay. When we talk of da'wah, this is when we actually try to preach about Islam. And during the month of Ramadan, preachings are always connected to the month of Ramadan. The benefit, actually, the ruling on fasting Ramadan, the benefits of fasting Ramadan, the conduct of a Muslim during the month of Ramadan. So our preachings centers on all these aspects of fasting.
Yeah. I personally have found, like, throughout my life, you're doing it without realizing it, especially to like the non-Muslim community, because I can remember my first job when I was 18 years old, mashallah, and I worked in a bank. And I had to explain to my boss that when I had breaks for work, I couldn't take my break at that particular time. And it was to go and have water or food or wherever it was. And I explained, look, I'm fasting at the moment. Please may I have my break around this time, because this is when I open up my fast. And it was a whole different concept to them back in the day, because they didn't understand what I was on about. So I had to re-educate what fasting meant, what iftar meant, and it's about explaining to people in a calm, polite way. So, you know, when you're saying the word preaching, he means in the context of you're educating people and you're informing people about the culture, so that sometimes we don't make mistakes, or we don't end up being disrespectful. We're civilized, we're polite, because people will sometimes, without meaning to, put the size 9s in it. You know, we're talking about shoes, put the foot in it. So this is a nice way of you doing that, and it shows, again, like jointness, doesn't it, in the community? You know, you're bringing people together, because even now in 2025, some people still have misconceptions, don't they, about Islam? So this is a nice way of you being together. What else do you do during those times, so other than the iftars?
Okay, then after the month of Ramadan, when it comes to the month of Dhul Hijjah, actually during Eid al-Adha, this is another celebration that calls for actually calling people, and we celebrate together. And during Eid al-Adha, as I said earlier, we do communicate with the people, and the little we collect from our organization or from our school, we also use it buying sacrifices, those animals that we sacrifice, and we distribute to community members. And to our organization, we do not discriminate between Muslims and non-Muslims. We involve the non-Muslims as well when it comes to distribution And when it comes to our celebration, bring people together, we do gather and talk about Eid al-Adha, while these non-Muslims are listening as well.
Sure.
And we give them time to even ask questions about our celebrations, about Eid al-Adha, about sacrifice. And alhamdulillah, the response is always positive when we involve these people.
Let's go back a little bit, just because there'll be some people that will misunderstand what you meant about sacrificing meat, because there might be some people listening thinking, what's he talking about? So for those people, again, that might not understand, this is a holy month. There is going to be a lot of people in that village or community that will not see meat, can't afford meat. There are people that will go without food. So in the holy month, can we just explain to our audience what we mean by the sacrificial meat? Because there'll be some people thinking you're trying to kill animals and you're hurting the planet. Do you understand what I'm getting at, Hamza, yeah? So we want to just clarify that so there's no misconceptions.
When it comes to sacrificing animals during Dhul Hijjah or during Eid al-Adha, in fact, it has a historical background in Islam. Here it comes when we remember what happened between Nabiullah Ibrahim alayhi salam with his son Ismail, when he wanted to sacrifice his son, and Allah, instead of his son, Allah provided an animal. So this is a symbolic thing that Muslims, when it comes to Dhul Hijjah, we do remember. And as Muslims, we are encouraged to always slaughter and distribute the meat to the community.
So many people, will do this in different ways, in different. I can remember my father going to the local supermarket that was halal, and already saying I'd like a particular animal ready for this particular time. You had to put your order in, but different communities obviously do it in a different way.
Yes.
My father would then go and collect the meat, and bless the butcher, it would be in little bags already measured with weight. And obviously everybody does it differently, don't they? Everybody does it in a very, very different way. So most of those families, I'm sure, have not seen meat in a very, very long time,
Exactly.
and a lot of them don't have that stable diet. Meat can be very, very expensive in different places,
Exactly.
I know from having lived and worked in Egypt, I've seen some families cannot even afford lentils, not just rice. Some things are just very, very expensive for the pocket.
Yes.
So that's one thing that you're able to do. Anything else that you're able to provide as well during that time?
Another thing that we do provide, actually what I'd forgotten, is during the month of Ramadan, there are some funders who prefer offering iftar packages, whereby we buy foodstuffs in bulk and we distribute them to families, something that can keep a family for a week or 2 weeks. We do this as well, instead of feeding these people once in a certain place during the iftar time. So we do offer those packages.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
And that also lets them be a bit more independent as well, doesn't it? Sometimes families can be very embarrassed about asking for help, correct?
Exactly. Asking for help is not easy.
No.
And as you know, in this current world, there are some donors who specify when offering the charity that someone has offered, then photos, videos should be taken.
Yeah.
So there are some people who actually do not feel okay with taking photos and so on.
Yeah.
So, but when we offer this in their homes as foodstuffs and so on, which could keep them for a week, 2 weeks, so this becomes safer for them.
Yes. I mean, even in the world we're living in today, we've got things like food banks, which I'm sure you're aware of. Even now, recently, we've got, baby banks, things like that, where not many families can afford things. They can't go to the supermarket, but someone's donated something. And a bit like what you've said, it's like a food hamper, and it's privately done. There's no embarrassment, like you said.
Exactly.
Pride is a very hard thing, isn't it? Especially in certain cultures. And you're right. There's people that want to donate. They'll do it privately. They don't want proof that you've got videos. But there are some. You're right. It's hard, isn't it, to please the people that provide the funds as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So in addition to the hampers, in addition to the iftars, what additional facilities or additional things are you able to provide people as well?
Yeah, another thing that we offer, we have been offering health services to the community.
Yeah.
As you know, in the communities where we stay, we are plagued with all sorts of tribulations when it comes to diseases.
Yes.
Malaria, typhoid, and very many diseases. So we do organize, we collect some funds, and we organize health camps, whereby we invite people, and most especially those poor families.
Yes.
We invite them, they attend, but we issue out numbers because we limit the number.
Because the medical supplies.
Yes,
Yeah.
depending on the supply.
Yeah.
So we limit the number of people. If you want like 100 people, we distribute those coupons for only those who will come, and whoever comes then has to get the service.
So in that community, because again, like I'm used to being in England and I'm used to my taxes pay for my healthcare system. When I moved abroad, in some jobs I was able to get health insurance. In some jobs I did not. I would have to pay. And in other countries, whenever you travel, you have to have health insurance. So some people might be thinking, well, why don't these people just go to the local government hospital? Why don't they go here? So can we give a bit of background why this medical aid is needed? Because some more people will not understand that it's, one, very expensive, correct? Sometimes the facilities might not be there. Do you get what I mean, Hamza?
Yes.
Yeah.
The fact is the government tries as much as it can to offer medical services, but they always, we may not say that it's really excellent.
Yes.
There are a lot of challenges that are associated with government medical supply to people. We have very many hospitals, free government hospitals, but the fact is people fail to get actually the services, the proper services. Reaching those hospitals, some
Not get there.
yeah, they don't get even medicine. They
Yes.
are instructed to go and buy medicine from out, shortage of medicines and so on. So with all these challenges, though the government tries as much as it can to
Yeah.
provide medical services to its people, but it has not covered everything to 100% still.
And sometimes
The need is there.
Sometimes there is a demand as well. Like, you know, think of COVID, think of viruses that go around. Sometimes you don't have the right quantity. And, you know, sometimes the drugs that are coming into the country, drugs, i.e. medicine, it's stopped. Or, you know, the production line, there's an expiry date. Maybe you don't have the right number of nurses or doctors. There's many, many complications, isn't there? It's not just a simple thing of go to the hospital.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Exactly. This happens.
Okay, so in addition to the health supplies, do you have particular doctors and nurses that come and work with you on a regular basis, or how has that helped you get that sorted out?
Yeah, the fact is, whenever we have those health camps, we get in touch with medical doctors. We
Yes.
invite them whenever we need them. Even laboratorians, they come,
Wow.
we invite them. They first make checkup before we offer treatment. So we have our doctors who are working in government facilities, but whenever we need them, we are always in touch with them, then they always respond
So do
positively.
they come in like a voluntary basis to come and help you out, or are you having to pay for those services as well?
Not really. They do not come as volunteers. We do pay for them.
Yes.
We do pay
So
for
that
the
again
service.
it goes into your budget, doesn't it? So that's another thing
Exactly.
to think about. But
Exactly.
I mean, I'm aware of when I first started teaching in England, which is, you know, quite a while back. But I remember in my second school, we had an influx of different refugees that would come from different places. So I've taught quite a lot of people, but I had a lot of boys that came from the Congo. And these particular boys definitely were a lot older than their age claimed to be. But you could see, like, some of the stories that they didn't speak a word of English. They spoke many other languages, but no English. And it was my job to try and help them
French.
to learn. No, some didn't speak French. Some didn't speak French at all. But you could tell they had very, very difficult times. And one of my teaching assistants spoke Swahili. one of the boys happened to speak that as one of the languages that he knew, and he was so like happy that she could like have a conversation. And he was saying to her, like, medical wise, the school had to bring school nurses in for medical checks because they were refugees, so they would have regular checkups to make sure their health was okay. And they were really shocked that there were these nurses here, there were doctors here. They were explaining in the village they had, where they were from, that was nothing that they would see. So it's interesting. You're saying similar. It's not changed, is what I'm saying.
Yes,
sadly.
and when it comes to Democratic Republic of Congo, it's really worse.
Yes, I know.
That country is, in fact, is plagued with all sorts of tribulations,
Problems,
wars
yes.
that do not end until now. So
Yeah.
actually the situation
It's
becomes
very
worse.
difficult. Very.
Now.
Also, I'm seeing that you also have dental checkups as well. So not just in the regard of like medical, but dental as well. So this team is slightly different, or is it the similar team of people that you've got attached to you?
In fact, we do consult professionals. Every professional in their field, their different fields.
Yes.
When it comes to dental issues, then we bring dentists. So we have our doctors that we are always in touch with them. Whenever we need them, they do respond positively to our call. And since it's not free, or we pay for their service.
I mean, we all know, don't we, that if you're having trouble with your teeth or if you're not taking care, people have different rituals in regards to brushing or cleaning their teeth.
Exactly.
In the Western world, it's all about, the white teeth and covering it with different layers and flashing them and making sure that you've got different covers on. For some, it's just simply brushing your teeth. Maybe if you've got a tooth that needs to be taken out or checks. Not everybody understands about looking after their gums, for example, that it can lead, if you don't look after certain things. But we know that some of these places may not potentially have running water. They might not have a supply of running water.
Exactly.
Am I right?
Yeah, in fact, you are really right. And actually, when we have these camps, when we have these medical camps, and specifically whenever we have dental awareness, the community is always educated on how to take oral hygiene.
Yeah.
Many people do not know how to take care of their of their mouth.
Yes.
So oral hygiene is very important.
Yeah.
Which many people do not know. They think it's a matter of brushing and so on. So it's not only that; it goes even beyond that.
Yeah. So I think what you're doing is very, very important, because you're not only educating them, but if they don't be aware of some of these issues, later on it leads to more health issues. And obviously, if you're educated, you can do something, or it might not apply to you, but you pass it on to someone else.
Exactly.
So I think it's really beautiful what you're doing.
Exactly.
One of the things that I was really, really touched on as well was the orphan sponsorship that you do as well. So please tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, you see, our communities, our organization is stationed, actually I might say it's in a village, areas where many organizations do not reach. So we are dealing with people who are extremely poor.
Yes.
So these people, and since we are being attacked by very many diseases, HIV, hepatitis, TB, right now we have a problem of diabetes, pressure. People are dying day and night. Cancer has become a problem in our area. People are dying day and night, leaving orphans. And these orphans, most of them come from very poor families. They live lugubrious life. So what we do, we try to register those that we can afford. So in our school, we have an orphanage. And right now, we have a population of 120 orphans.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yes.
What's the age range, or does it vary? I mean,
the age varies. Actually, those we enroll, we start from the age of 6.
Oh, bless them.
From the age of 6 until they complete their primary level.
Okay.
So most of them do complete when they are 13, 14, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so we keep them, and we do mobilize for funds from friends. So, and the problem is our organization, we have not yet partnered with other organizations on the side of orphans. Mm-hmm. And this side of orphanage, it is being taken care of. Actually, we do depend on individuals.
Yeah, to support you, to help you.
Yeah,
keep running.
individuals are trying to support within Uganda, but mostly in Kuwait, because now
Yes.
they are mostly in Kuwait. And when it comes to their funding, some people, some individuals, like business category, business people, time comes they withdraw from funding with the reasons or the excuse of their business is not doing well and so on. So right now, out of the 120, we have only 80. I mean, out of 120, only 80 are sponsored, and so we still have another group of 40 that is not sponsored. After we register these orphans, it becomes hard to send them back because of funding.
As in send them back home?
No, we do not do that.
I was going to say, what do you mean send back? That sounds...
We can't take them back to their families without facilities, without education.
Yeah.
Just because some donors have withdrawn.
Yes.
We just keep them and keep asking. We keep
donations.
Yeah, we keep asking for more donations, such that they can as well attain their education.
Have any of those orphans ever been adopted or helped by outsiders? You know, for example, I'm sure you're aware there's many people that are sadly childless. You know, sadly they would love to have children. It's just not their destiny. So have any of the children you've got at the moment been looked after by outsiders yet, or might that happen?
For our case, that one has not happened.
Okay.
Since we are far from the capital.
Right.
We are far from the capital, and we are stationed in
like a smaller area.
A small area.
Yeah.
So we do receive very few. Actually, it's mostly foreigners who have such mentality of adopting and so on, but our people do not. So we have never got actually that chance.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad to hear that funding happens. I mean, we both understand, like, if we go back to the example I gave of COVID earlier, we didn't expect that to happen in our world, and we saw lots of changes. And of course, business goes up, business goes down. Sometimes, you know, someone has that extra, I guess, amount that they're able to provide and help a charity. And sometimes things happen. You know, life happens. The business might close down. You know that yourself. And sometimes it's out of our control. Sometimes they have a death in their family. Circumstances happen, don't they? But at the end of the day, it's not easy to say to a 6-year-old, sorry, you know, that funding stops. So what can the listeners do to help support? I mean, that one especially, I mean, there's many things that you've said that do need support, but that one especially, how can we help you further? How can we support you, those listeners that are listening in?
Yeah, in fact, my appeal is to all well-wishers, for those who can afford, especially on the side of orphans, they can send in their contributions towards the well-being of these orphans. We do charge, actually, the funding for orphans is only 15 KD monthly that we have been receiving from previous funders, and that's the only thing we receive every month. And there are some others who contribute even more than that, depending
on their budget.
Yes, on their financial. So we do receive others who can decide to pay even 20, 30, depending on their financial status.
Sure.
Yeah, so this helps us to cater for even these others who do not have funding, who do not have sponsors.
Okay. If we were, you know, obviously we will be putting additional details to the podcast so that people can see what your charity is about. We can add different details. Is there like a website where people can make donations to you at the moment, or is there a contact details we can provide? So if somebody wants to get in touch with you, they can do that to help fund you?
Yes, we have a website that we just opened.
Amazing.
And it's not yet very much functional when it comes to donation. We are still working on it. Mm-hmm. My technical team is working on it, but the website is Nadir Charitable Organization. And inshallah, I will send the link to you.
Brilliant.
You will get to know. But on the side of donating through the website, that one has not yet been worked on, but my team is working hard to look to it that we start receiving donations through the website.
And if not, could they possibly help provide donations maybe through your brother? Who's
Yes,
working?
exactly.
Yeah.
My brother, Hamza Twaha, works here. He works at TIES. So when it comes to donation, he's the right person to
do
receive.
as well.
Yes.
So that would be, and obviously all these details will be in the podcast summary. And obviously if things get changed or added, I will tweet that for you so that people listening in can add that as well.
Inshallah.
What are the future hopes that you've got? So I'm seeing that you're wanting to try and hopefully acquire more land to do more projects as well. That's a future wish. So what's the plans for that one?
Exactly. Right now we are thinking of acquiring more land for farming. You see, in our area, farming is very beneficial and our land is fertile. Mm-hmm. So when we engage in farming, this will help us to earn. And when we earn, and even those foodstuffs that we harvest from our farm, can as well help to feed the school and feed these orphans. Yeah, so this is one of the strategies to have income generating projects instead of depending on donations.
In that community, I'm seeing that you're also, I believe, adding additional water supplies. I've seen this happen quite a lot in some areas as well. My grandfather's done this as well. My grandfather, bless him, is part of Muslim Global Relief, which is a big charity that he helped set up in Britain that also does similar. They help provide like foundations similar to what you're doing as well. So the water supply, just explain why in that particular area that's really key to have.
Yes, water, as you know, for us Muslims, water is very key in all whatever we are doing. We need a lot of water. So in our area, we have, in fact, a national water supply. The problem is it's very costly.
Yes.
The cost is much. And with the population we have of our students, every time getting wudu for Salah, from Subuhi up to Isha, it's very costly. Yeah. So with that, we thought of digging a borehole. We connected with electricity such that it can help to reduce the water bills.
Yeah. And
indeed, it has helped to cut down the water bills from national water supply.
So when Hamza's talking about Salah, it means getting prepared for prayer, because as Muslims, we have to cleanse our bodies, we have to make sure that we're purified and that we're ready for prayer. This obviously uses water. So it's not just for drinking, bathing, showering, it's also for getting ready for that religious practice as well.
Exactly.
In case for people that don't understand that dialect as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, and in some places, there isn't a water supply. People still, in some places, have to walk a long way if they're able to find water. A lot of it is not purified. A lot of it is not clean. A lot of it doesn't have filtered pumps. A lot of it you have to go and walk with a bucket, or a pot. So I'm glad that you're trying to do more of that supply. That's not an easy job.
Yes,
believe me, I'm aware.
Exactly.
I'm aware.
No.
Are there anything, other aspects that you want to include in this podcast for people to also bear in mind or to be aware of?
Yeah, another thing is that we have thought of widows. As you know, our death rates are high in our community because of very many factors.
Yeah.
So, and mostly men die faster than women. Oof. So widows are many, and as I said, most of them. For those who come from poor families, we organize them, and we have a tailoring center. Mm-hmm. We acquired some tailoring machines. We train them, and after training, they go and start working. And they earn for themselves instead of staying as beggars, waiting for donors and so on. So we skill them. Afterwards, they go and work for themselves. They earn their living.
They become self-sufficient. So in those cases, was the husband or the brothers or the uncles the main breadwinners? Were mainly in that culture? It's the women that are not working. Am I right?
Mostly women. Women do not work.
Yes.
Do not work. And as you know, in our village, actually many women do not go to school. They're not educated. So getting a job probably wins business and so on. And business actually needs capital. So without capital, it becomes hard for someone to start a business. But when we skill them, they use their skills to earn their living.
So not only are you giving them skills, but you're also teaching them life skills, independent skills, how to be self-sufficient, and that's a beautiful blessing in itself.
Exactly.
And not everybody will see that you're doing that.
Exactly.
So those women hopefully are able then to provide, something for their own children, and like you said, nobody wants to beg. Nobody wants to beg for money. This again is a pride thing. It's a humble thing. And if you're already in a community where not everybody's able to help you because they're in the same position, then how are you going to feed yourself, clothe your children? So what you're doing is a really beautiful part of the community as well.
Yes.
Is there anything else, Hamza, that I have forgotten to mention, or you've forgotten to mention, that you want our listeners to be aware of?
Yes, and we have another challenge of street kids.
Yes.
Street kids. It's actually rampant in our small towns. Parents do not take care of their children because they are poor. People in our communities, many people are polygamous. A man will marry like 4 wives when he cannot afford.
Yes.
When he cannot afford actually to sustain the family.
Which is going against the whole principle of what you should do in the first place.
Exactly.
Just to make it clear to people.
Yeah, so it becomes a challenge for us as Muslims, seeing these young Muslims on the street without education. So we try to make follow-up where they come from and so on. We bring them together, we intervene. For those we feel we can help, we do actually adapt them. And we include them in the system in the school system. We enroll them. But for those we feel we can't, then we just advise even their families on how to take care of their children, and even advising actually those men about family, how to sustain the family. We visit these people individually, since they are Muslims, and actually the image of Muslims that is being tarnished.
Yes.
So we get concerned and we make follow-up.
And a lot of the time, it could be many, many reasons. Maybe they're not ready to have children. They don't know how to look after children. There's lots of factors. It's not just about the fact that they're Muslim, but I get what you mean. It's the perception, isn't it? It's the perception of people and the community around them. So it's changing people's mindset as well. And I guess you're also trying to keep those kids safe as well. You're hopefully, I hope, keeping away from crime or danger or whatever the different things are that, you're making sure that they leave the path of righteousness as well, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah, so it's not easy.
No.
We have a lot of activities. We are trying as much as we can.
Yeah, and that needs funding as well. Needs funding as well, because that's an additional community service that no one's asked you to do, but you're doing it because you're trying to keep those people safe, aren't you, in the long run?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, just to conclude, is there anything that you wish to pass on to anybody listening to this podcast? Obviously, when we're trying to choose charities, when we're trying to help people, there's going to be lots and lots, and this particular one has obviously touched my heart, hence we're having this podcast. But what would you say to anyone listening in about your particular foundation and why you think it, needs more help than perhaps some others? It's a hard one, that one, I know.
The fact is our organization is still young.
Yes.
And as I said, it's just a community-based organization, and we still have a long way to actually register it as a company, probably, or as an NGO. But there are stages that we need to reach. But where we are right now, we are on ground, and the people we deal with are those people who are actually down to earth.
Yes.
We are operating in an area where many organizations do not reach, and we still need a lot of funding to help the community. In our country, the government is trying, however, we still need a lot, actually. And to me as a Muslim, and the challenges we get through as Muslims, they are really tough, and we need more funding for our communities to grow. Because what we do, it's benefiting mostly Muslims, but at the same time, even the non-Muslims, since they're in the community, this shows how Muslims, we are required to live in peace with other people of different religion backgrounds.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So I just want to thank you for being on the show and for explaining, obviously, that very, very in-depth account of all the beautiful different things that you do. And I really hope that our listeners, hopefully once your website is set up and once the details are in the bio of the podcast, they go away and look you up, and hopefully you have more charities and more support coming in. Maybe there's other people out there that maybe want to just get in touch with you and help you out, and hopefully that happens. So thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome,
You're
and
welcome.
thank you.
And hopefully
too.
we have you on the get. Thank you.